Gorhemina o hoethus ran per onus Learn Cornish podcast agas dinner. Greetings, my friend. A spooky episode of Learn Cornish podcast welcomes you. Haith you, Niera Kuzel in Tien adro the nos Kalan Gwav ha nos Tansys. Today, we're going to talk about Halloween and Bonfire night. I'm going to talk a lot in detail because Cornwall has its own festival on the day of Halloween. The Cornish festival Allantide, which is also known as St. Allan's Day, or the Feast of St. Allan, or Allan Day, or Allan Night, is traditionally celebrated on the 31st of October, Unegves war ugens avis hedra. This is a feast on that evening, and celebrations can also continue until the following daytime. The standard phrase I found for this in Cornish was nos Kalan Gwav. Nos means night or eve, like nos da means good night. Kalan means the first, as in the first day, and this is used to say the first day of the month. Gwav means winter, so nos Kalan Gwav means first night of winter. Another phrase for Allantide in Cornish is Gul Kalan Gwav, where Gul means feast. St. Allan was the bishop of Quimper, that's spelt Quimper. He was the bishop of Quimper in the 6th century, and Quimper is a commune in Cornwall, which is a historical region of Brittany in France. And Cornwall is also the French word for Cornwall. The celebration of Allantide in Cornwall isn't really to commemorate St. Allan, it's to celebrate the end of harvest and the beginning of winter. This was the time of year that farmers would slaughter their animals, which is why this time of year is associated with death. Elsewhere, the 31st of October is All Hallows Eve, and that's where the word Halloween comes from. This is the start of All Hallowtide, which is also known as Hallowtide, Hallowmass, and All Saints Tide. It includes All Saints Day, which is the 1st of November, and it ends on All Souls Day, which is the 2nd of November. Kalan Gwav, or Dihalan Gwav, is All Saints Day, which is also known as All Hallows Day, and putting nos in front of this makes it the evening before that day, so the eve. All Souls Day in Cornish has a few translations. Olenevo, that's one word and it literally means all souls. Dith and Enevo, Day of the Souls. And Kovhayans, which means remembering. This is spelt Kovheans, and this comes from the verb kovhe, which means to remember, and that's spelt Kofhe. So we have nos Kalan Gwav po Gul Kalan Gwav, and Unegves war ugens avis hedra, Kalan Gwav po Dihalan Gwav, and Kalan avis du, Olenevo po Dith and Enevo po Kovhayans, and Nessa avis du. I couldn't find a Cornish translation for All Hallowtide. The traditional celebration of Nos Kalan Gwav starts by ringing church bells to comfort people who had just died, who they believe are waiting to be judged before going to heaven or hell. And that's the same for All Hallowtide and Allantide in Cornwall and elsewhere. In Cornwall, for Allantide, people also gave each other Allan apples, which were polished red apples, and they were good luck gifts. Children would put these apples under their pillow, and some girls put these under their pillow so that they would dream of their future husband. The children were supposed to save it for the next day, but some children would just eat them the same day. There was a game where a cross would be suspended, typically from the ceiling, with 4 candles on each of the 4 ends, and Allen apples would be suspended from the cross. The goal was to catch an apple in your mouth without getting hot wax on you. I've put a picture in my script document to which you can find a link in the description. Markets that sold Allen apples were known as Allen markets, and they were allegedly very popular in the early 19th century in autumn in Cornwall. Another game was throwing molten metal into cold water, and the shape would show the occupation of a girl's future husband. People would also throw walnuts into a fire to see if their partner was being faithful. Another random Allantide tradition was tying a front door key in a Bible between the pages that contained the Song of Solomon. They would tie it with a left leg garter, and when the key was taken out, it was supposed to twirl when someone said the name of their future love. In Cornwall, the traditional vegetable to carve is a turnip rather than a pumpkin. Halloween traditions everywhere are thought to stem from Samhain, that's spelt Samhain. It's a Gaelic festival on the 1st of November, which also marks the end of harvest and the beginning of winter, like Allantide or modern-day Halloween. As the Celtic day begins and ends at sunset, Samhain includes the evening of the 31st of October and the daytime of the 1st of November, like Allantide. Now let's look at some Cornish vocabulary. Lemon, Mirren Orth, Neighbours, Gurva, Canuic. Apple, Aval. Apples, Avalo. Allen apples, Avalo Allen. I've made up that translation, I couldn't find one. Apple bobbing, I also couldn't find a translation for that. So you could use bobia rag avalo, where bobia is a made up word, or trochia rag avalo, and trochia means dip or plunge. Game, gwari. Games, gwario. Tradition, hengov. Traditions, hengovio. Turnip, there are a few translations. Ervinen, rutabaga, turnipen. That's singular turnip. And then turnips, there's a collective plural, ervin, where you're talking just generally about multiple turnips. If you want to talk about particular turnips, you can say ervinenen rutabagis or turnipenno. Pumpkin, pompion, pumpkins, pompions. To carve, curva. Trick or treat, prat po ro. Festival, ghoul. Festivals, golio, and this is also the word for feast. Sweet, juegan. Sweets, juegenno. Chocolate, chocolate. Chocolates, chocolates. Nice and easy, that one. Egg, oi. Eggs, oyo. Toilet roll or toilet paper, paper privethio. Costume, guiscas. Costumes, guiscasso. Horror, broach or earth. And that's where ethic comes from as well. That means horrible or awful. Fancy dress, tolwisk. Monster, earth veal or tebel vest. Monsters would be earth veeles or tebel vestes. Now I'm going to go through some example sentences in English and Cornish for you. In the Christian calendar, All Hallows Eve falls on the 31st of October. In Galender Christian, Nos Kalan Gwav avith Ernegves war Ugens avis Hedra. In the Cornish calendar, Allantide falls on the 31st of October. In calendar Cernewic, nos Kalan Gwav avith unegves war ugans avis hedra. There isn't really a way to distinguish between Halloween and Allantide in Cornish. Not that I found anyway. Halloween/Allantide has traditional games. Ima Gwario Hengovek the nos Kalan Gwav. Apple bobbing is a popular Halloween game all around the world. Trocha rag avalo, you gwari nos Kalan Gwav, gerista adro then bees. Where gerista means popular, and adro then bees means all around the world. In Cornwall, people catch Allan apples hung from a cross with their mouth. In Cerno, antus ara rosa avalo Allan Cregin agros gans agagano. Where Cregis means hung, crows is the word for cross, and this has mutated to grows. Trick or treat is a game where children go to strangers' houses and ask for a treat, or else the children will trick the stranger. Prat po ro, you grari, me fleches amos then chio estrenion, ha gov a barth prat. Poken and fleches ara prat then estren. So estren means stranger, estrenion means strangers, poken means or else, prat means trick, and ro means treat or gift. Children dress up in costumes. Fleches are omwisk in Gwiscazo. Costumes are usually of figures of horror, like ghosts, witches, devils, zombies, vampires, other types of dead people, monsters, werewolves, fallen angels, or scary characters from books and films. Herwith usado, usually. Gwiscazo, costumes. You figuris broach, are figures of horror. Keparha, like. Torazvano, ghosts. Graches, witches. Diolo, devils. Zombis, zombies. Sugnorion goos, vampires. Echen aral maro, other types of dead people. Earthviles, monsters. Gorav Leithes, werewolves. Eleth Kothes, fallen angels. Po, Gnasso onus a livro ha filmo, or scary characters from books and films. I'm going to read out that whole Cornish sentence now. Hoeth usado, Gwiscazo u figuris broach, keparha taros vanno, graches, diolo, zombis, signorion goose, echen arol maro, earthviles, gorov leithes, eleth kothis, po gnasso onus a livro ha filmo. The treats are usually sweets and chocolate. Herwith usado, juegeno ha chocolates you and royo. So the structure of that sentence was usually herwith usado, sweets and chocolate, juegeno ha chocolates, are the treats, you and royo. As a trick, children throw eggs at the stranger's house, or they throw toilet roll over the stranger's house. Avel prat and fleches a tool oyo then chi estren, po iatul paper privathio a uch then chi estren. Sometimes people dress in fancy dress that isn't scary, like other fictional characters, celebrities, occupations, animals, or objects. Trueithio and dusk omwisk in tolwisk nag u onus. Kepar ha ganasso futhiek aral. Tus ha benenes mur aga hano. Sotho enevales ha takleno. So here, other fictional characters is Ganasso Futhiedek Aral. Celebrities in Cornish is Tus ha benenes mur agahano. So there are two words, or there are two phrases for celebrity, masculine and feminine. You either say Tus ver agahano or benenes mur agahano. Those are the plurals. The singular would be benin mur hi hano or den mur I hano. And this means literally man or woman, much his or her or their name. Occupations is sotho, animals, enevalis, objects, takleno. In the USA, they call all fancy dress Halloween costumes. In Status Unis America, ia meneg ol tolwisk quiscazo nos Kalan Gwav. In Cornwall, people carve turnips. Elsewhere, people carve pumpkins. In Cerno, andus a cerv ervin. In Ken Leo, andus a cerv pompions. There used to be Allen markets in the 19th century. I vetha marchazo Allen in non segves cansvlethen. So some interesting vocabulary there. There used to be I vetha, that's two words, I, and then vedha. And then 19th century, non segves, 19th, cansvlethen century. People used to buy Allen apples and give them to members of their family. Andus a prenas avalo Allen, haga rose then eseli agathelu. So here we have andus a prenas avalo Allen, people used to buy Allen apples, and give them is haga rose, so that's HA apostrophe GA, and where the apostrophe GA is from aga, and that's referring to the Allen apples, so and them give, or and their give. And then eseli aga thelu, to the members of their family. So aga there is A apostrophe GH, so to their family, and that's just using aga normally in that sense. Children used to put Allen apples under their pillow to dream of their future love. And fleches agoras avalo Allen in dan aga fluvek rag hun rosa aga pris a the. So here we have anfleches agoras avalo Allen. Children used to put Allen apples in dan aga fluvek under their pillow, and fluvek is mutated from pluvek. Rag hun rosa, in order to dream. Aga pris a the. And that literally means of their love, of their spouse to be. Adder means to be, it literally means to come. So it can be used to mean to come or to be. Right. Halloween traditions come from Samhain. Hengofio nos Kalan Gwav adder Samhain. This is another use of adder, which means comes from or come from. So it can be used in a past sense and a future sense. Samhain is a Gaelic festival. It's on the 1st of November and it marks the end of summer or harvest and the beginning of winter. Gúil Gothalek yw Samhain, efa fydd Kalan a fys dw, hag efa merc an pen haf po trefas, han daleth Gwav. So, from efa merc means it marks. And pen can mean the head. It can also mean the end or the top. Have means summer. Trefas means harvest. And Gwav means winter. Happy Halloween! Nos Kalan Gwav Lowen. Right, that's all my vocabulary for Halloween. Now let's talk about Bonfire Night. Lemon cusin adro the nos Tansys. Bonfire Night is also known as Guy Fawkes Night and is a celebration of the failure of the gunpowder plot. This was a plot in 1605 to blow up the Houses of Parliament and kill King James I of England as a rebellion against Protestants. Guy Fawkes was one of 13 Catholic men who participated in the gunpowder plot. His role was to hide 36 barrels of gunpowder under the House of Lords, then ignite them on the state opening of Parliament on the 5th of November. The plan was foiled because someone, probably Francis Tresham, one of the conspirators, wrote a letter to his brother-in-law, William Parker, who was a Catholic member of the House of Lords, telling him not to go to the state opening. Now, Bonfire Night is celebrated on the 5th of November with bonfires, fireworks, sparklers, toffee apples, parkin, a Yorkshire ginger cake, s'mores, marshmallows melted on a skewer over a fire, then sandwiched between wafers, and hot dogs. Okay, I'll go through some vocabulary. Bonfire Night, nos Tansys. Bonfire, Tansys. Bonfires, Tansysio. Gunpowder, poltergon. Plot, braz. Plots, brazo. Gunpowder plot, braz poltergon. To blow up, tartha. Explosive, devnith tartha. Explosives, devnithio tartha. Houses of Parliament, chio and senaith. I didn't find this as an official translation, but senaith does mean Parliament. House of Lords, chi an arlithi. Firework, tan weithen. Fireworks, tan weithenno, as the plural of particular fireworks, or tan weith for collective fireworks. Sparkler, elvenel. Sparklers, elvenelo. Toffee apple, aval cligien. Toffee apples, avalo cligien. Hot dog, ki tom. Hot dogs, kio tom. Again, I didn't find that as an official translation anywhere, but that is my best guess. Marshmallow, malowen gurnek. Marshmallows, malowenno kurnek. So that would be particular plural marshmallows, or Mallow Kernek as collective marshmallows. Melted or molten turf. Now let's look at some phrases. Lemon, mirin orth neighbours lavarenno. Remember, remember the 5th of November, gunpowder treason and plot. Grúch cofe, and pimpes avis du, poltergon treason ha bras. I see no reason why gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. Ninzus them raison, prag poltergon ha treason, adal bos ankovas. So, ankovas isn't really the right conjugation of forgotten or forgot. It would probably be ancavis. But ancavis doesn't rhyme with braz, and ankovas rhymes a bit more with braz. And forgot in the English rhyme is already not the right conjugation, so I think that might be forgivable. I'll say that again and try to make it, say the whole thing again and try to make it flow a bit better. Grúch cofe, and pimpes avis du, poltergon treason ha bras. Ninzus them raison, prag poltergon ha treason, adal bos ankovas. The gunpowder plot was a failed attempt to blow up the Houses of Parliament. And bras poltergon o asse heb suena, tartha and chio and senath. So here, O means was, simply the letter O. Asse, an attempt. Heb suena means unsuccessful, where heb means without and suena means success or prosperity. And then we've got Tartha and Chio and Senath to blow up the Houses of Parliament. Guy Fawkes was in charge of the explosives. Guy Fawkes o Gemerianzek and Devnithio Tartha. So the word for in charge is Gemerianzek. It's a very long word. Someone sent an anonymous letter to a member of the House of Lords. Nebonen a danvona lither dihano the ezel anchi an alrithi. So someone, Nebonen, sent a danvona, anonymous letter, lither dihano, to a member, the esel anchi an alrithi, the House of Lords. The letter was found and Guy Fawkes was caught. Lither ave kevis ha Guy Fawkes ave daskevis. So from research, I think that ave means was when you're using it in passive sentences. So was found, was caught. I'm not entirely sure where daskevis comes from, but it does mean found or caught. Today we celebrate this failure as Bonfire Night. Heddiw nia cyfu an defaut ma avel nos Tansys. So we celebrate nia cyfu, that also cyfuia is the verb and it can mean to celebrate or to throw a party. This failure and defaut ma. As Bonfire Night, avel nos Tansys. People light big bonfires and do firework displays. And tous a eno Tansysio bras, hara displetianzo tanwaith. Eno comes from enoi, which means to light a fire or to kindle. And displetianzo means displays. Sparklers are like little handheld fireworks. El venelo you havel the danwaith bechen dornsinsis, where dornsinsis means handheld, bechen means little, and danwaith is mutated from tanwaith. On bonfire night, people eat hot dogs and toffee apples. In nos Tansys, and dus a ddibri chio tom ha avalo cligien. In Yorkshire, they make parkin, a ginger cake. In Conteth Evrec, iara parkin, tesen ginger. And one of the translations of Yorkshire is Conteth Evrec, where Conteth means county. And Evrec is the Cornish translation for York, although I'm not sure of the etymology of that. S'mores are popular in the USA. They are marshmallows melted over a bonfire and placed between two wafers. S'mores you gerista in Status Unis America. Ithinzi malo kernek turth the Tansys ha desethis entra du wafer. So the first sentence, s'mores eugerista in Status Unis America, I think you can follow that. And then ithinzi, they are malo kernek, marshmallows, melted tuth, over a bonfire, the Tansys, where the means over, Tansys is mutated from Tansys, ha desethis, and placed, between two wafers, entra du wafer. So that's all for this episode. Thank you for listening. If you want to give me feedback, you can comment on the transcript, which I've linked in the description, or you can add comments on Spotify or YouTube. I'm sure there will be a few corrections that I need. I'll leave you with 2 tips for bonfire night. If you want to make sparklers safer to hold, you can poke the pointy ends into carrots and hold them by the carrot. Secondly, if you're lighting a bonfire, check it first for hedgehogs, as they often crawl into wood piles. That well is.